Hello, everybody. This is what is this? Losers finals? No, losers semis. Is this losers finals?
This
Losers
this is
semis.
winners finals that you brought us into.
Oh, this
This
is
is game two of winners
this
finals.
is game two of winners finals. Holy shit! It's even more advanced. All right, cool. Well, game two of winners finals. It's the heroes of our heart. What is the team called? Chatterjee Tragedy
Yes.
versus the losers of our heart, but the winners of all the money.
Yes.
Way to death.
True. They got the first pick Shadow Fiend, which right out the gate is terrifying to draft the rest of your draft against. Chatterjee Tragedy replies with the first pick Chatterjee.
Yes. And Axe. There's the TA. Yeah. They've got some interesting bans, but Abaddon's still being first banned every game. Oh, I mean, he's good, but I really feel like everybody's overrating him a bit. Okay, Lion as well.
And so Chatterjee Tragedy had an upset earlier this tournament against Not Yet Dead, the other favored Russian team, and beat them using Chatterjee. So see if it's the hero
and ping
making the team.
They
did utilize a fair bit of ping.
Their main strategy involved having everybody on the Radiant team lag really badly.
It's not important. What matters is they won.
This is true. What matters is they won, and so they did. They did win. So there's also a Wraith King. That's a bad boy. Wraith King with Shadow Fiend is always nice. You just give him like even more auras.
Yeah, you give him all the auras, and then if you manage to burst down the Shadow Fiend at the start of a fight, he's still going to get a couple attacks out.
You just always maximize the auras. I like that a lot. I think that's a very powerful strategy. It just kind of like feels good. I don't know. You know, like it's kind of a little weird, isn't it? Like maybe that's just me, but the whole aura tank strategy, it seems like something that would be super boring because really all you're doing is just being around. But I don't know. It's actually pretty fun.
It is fun. I think it's really, really satisfying when like a whole team collapses on you and you're like, you can't kill me for like 10 whole seconds, then you die.
Yeah. Well, Radiant side now up for picking. We do have Way to Death did win game one, right? I think was pretty decisive.
I did not see the result. I just saw that they took game one.
Yeah. Well, I saw earlier somebody bring up like the score, and it was like 50-25 or something like that.
Oh, okay, that's an aggressive early game. I feel like they probably got an advantage and then just started fighting and forced a high score.
Oh no, I didn't mean that was like the end of it. It's just like a score I saw in the game.
I get it. Okay, cool.
Slaughter being banned out, which is interesting.
Yeah, I guess they're respecting that hero. We did just get destroyed by one, so you're not wrong.
The minus armor strats are terrifying. That's actually like the big question, I feel like, for the Radiant. You know, like they're going up against the Shadow Fiend already. How do you deal with that? You know, like I feel like currently the biggest question in the OAA meta is like, how do we deal with the minus armor strats? How do we make it so that we can actually take some of these physical hits? For Chatterjee's intelligence hero. So really quick, Chatterjee isn't showing up because Valve changed some random ass thing about how things work for no reason. And now it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, we just have to go figure out what changed and then change our thing to meet their new thing that they changed.
Yeah,
it'll work again, but
when everybody was kind of like complaining about Valve abandoning the custom games, they like did like 2 patches where they actually said what they changed about the modding engine. And then they immediately stopped because Reddit wasn't upset anymore.
Yep.
And
Death Prophet pick. I think that's pretty cool. Yeah. I like that. Nice big damage dealer for the team. They have a lot of disruptive team fight to buy some, and also all the supports so far are tanky. Yeah. So they're really setting up for those long team fights.
I don't know. I don't really like the Death Prophet here too much. I don't know if he can tank up enough to be able to survive for long fights here. And like, what's the backup? What's keeping her alive?
Yeah, what's just keeping the Shadow Fiend from three-shotting her?
Yeah, that's what I don't see. And like, maybe they get like a dazzle or something. Maybe they have something in mind, or an oracle. But right now, I don't really see it. So
I do also like that they picked a Flash Farmer into the Shadow Fiend to try to contest some of Shadow Fiend's just disgusting early game farm. Because if you don't take camps from the Shadow Fiend will eventually get all the camps no matter how hard you shut it down. And then it's going to be the highest level in the game. And when Shadow Fiend's the highest level in the game, he kills people.
Yeah, it's always a rush to level 25 with that hero, right? So
and even before that, if you bump into a level 14 Shadow Fiend at like minute 6, he's just going to kill you in 3 or 4 shots in a race.
Well, the big question here to me, do they say, is Axe enough to deal with the Shadow Fiend, or will they get some more? I don't think Chatterjee will be enough to deal with the Shadow Fiend, because there's just so much disable on the Dire already. There's a Medusa, so that's kind of a defensive hero.
Okay, yeah.
Right, like you get the ultimate off, and then
it's fine. Also more team fight for their big long team fight team. Sniper last pick, interesting. I wasn't expecting a hero like Sniper.
I think Sniper.
So they're just going to do a ton of damage. That's what they're going to do.
I really like Sniper a lot, actually. Like, Sniper can stay outside of the Death Prophet range. Like, something that's really important to know about Death Prophet is her ultimate does more damage if you're closer to your target. So if an enemy is far away, her ultimate is really not very dangerous at all. So she can't really do much about the Sniper. Medusa ultimate can be outranged by Sniper. The biggest problem Sniper really has is the Tusk. But the thing is that if the Radiant, like, you know, commits into the Sniper, they just die to Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, I think it's nice because they have like 2 huge targets that they need to take care of. Because if either the Sniper or the Shadow Fiend lives, they're going to start, you know, 2-shotting all your teammates. And with the Wraith King, how do you possibly keep both of them locked down for both their entire HP pools and their entire Wraith form duration? It's a great team.
You know what's going on right now?
This is the weird pause during the phase.
Loading the versus screen. The most important screen to ever be added. Alright. I like the Dire's team. It's very simple, very straightforward. It's got a lot of those heroes that are just kind of like, hey, you know, we kind of complement each other a little bit. There's some synergies, but in the end, it's just 3 heroes with magic missile and then 2 carries.
Yeah, it is. I like a lot of things about the Radiant team. I think I also favor the Dire's drafting. But the thing that I really like about Radiant team is that every single one of these players are playing heroes that they're very, very comfortable with.
Yeah, that's good. They need
I've seen every one of these people play these heroes a million times, except for maybe Devil Sunrise on the Chatterjee, but Chatterjee is decently straightforward. Yeah. I don't know. She's a little more complicated than some supports, but she's just such a strong hero, and I don't know. It's in their name. They'll do fine.
They'll figure it out.
I've seen Private play Death Prophet, and I've seen the other Private Pigeon play the Dusa a lot. Pigeon loves baking Dusa.
They'll definitely figure it out. Just, you know, they have some... I'm actually really looking forward to seeing the Death Prophet. I think Death Prophet is a very interesting hero. Can you, like, tell us how do you think they're gonna, like, play the early aggression here? You know, I imagine that the Medusa would just be in base, right? Like, don't think
Medusa's going to farm high ground and maybe a little bit of the bottom corner camps where the medium camps are. Good, just going for medium camps and safe high farm to get a couple levels and then eventually go for ancients. The rest of the team are probably going to roam as possibly even all 4, maybe a 3-1, maybe 2-2. But Private's going to be doing a lot of farm. So it'll be really interesting to see what Privet Sadism gets as his first skill. Whether it's Spirit Siphon or Crypt Swarm, because it says a lot about the type of Death Prophet that he's going to play and how the roaming rotations are going to go. But Medusa's definitely high ground. Well, yeah, between Pocket and Sadism, they have so much aggressive flash farm. I love these two picks, Axe and Death Prophet, up against the Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, like the usual strategy is, you know, 2 supports, right, and then 2 like 1 flash farmer and 1 kind of like slower farmer. Wait, 3 supports, sorry. But they went for like more 2 supports and then a bunch of like a third farmer instead to try and challenge the Shadow Fiend a bit. Oh, okay, we've got Wraith King. Ooh, goes in a little bit. Snake coming out. Ooh, that's a good snake. That did a lot of damage. So this is pretty common, you know, like the first little skirmish where both teams are feeling each other out a bit, deal some damage. I feel like Radiant definitely came out ahead, although... Oh, another good snake. Damn, that Medusa is getting value. Good Crypt Swarm.
Great raises, but taking a lot of damage for it. Shadow Fiend's gonna drop soon. No uphill either.
And we even got some... Almost got the healing going on. Like, this is where the Dire has to initiate, and they're just dropping. Like, they got a kill, at least that. But that's 4 heroes down. And the 5th one will also fall very, very quickly.
Sayism was fishing with blind Crypt Swarms to try to hit the Shadow Fiend, trying to take out Eckler. I have been Ecklered. I think that was to him being juked on the queue. Eckler is actually a great player. Weighted Earth really is just full of very good players. It's hard to... Both of the big Russian teams, it's hard to pinpoint who the star player on them is.
Alright, so both teams are kind of just like starting to get into position a little bit. You see Supreme starting on these jungle camps over here, buying the early power spark. So it's something that's changed a little bit from the last time we had an OAA tournament. So maybe like catch people up a bit. But before, Face Boots gave split shot and Power Treads gave cleave.
Nice.
Now Face Boots still give split shot, but Power Treads no longer cleave. Instead, they essentially kind of function like a Quelling Blade, where they give your attack a bonus pure damage to creeps. But only to like the single creep you're attacking, doesn't cleave in any way. But it's a really great item if you're like hoping to just kind of take down some bigger camps, or if you're a hero that has high attack speed, or if
really low damage, because the cleave just doesn't do much for you if you're attacking for like 40 at level 1, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Like if your hero just doesn't do that much damage to begin with, then kind of doubling up on that can go a really long way.
Yeah, it is 40 extra damage, so on a lot of heroes, that's effectively a permanent D&D rune.
This right here is kind of like the difficulty. You know, you can see that the Lion and the Wraith King, they're both just immediately brawling into the Tusk and the Axe down here. And it's just a struggle a little bit, right? Like, how do you fight into that? They got chased away.
And trying to kill Max is one of the most frustrating things in the world. He's so slippery. See some early wards going down. That's great. The Tusk also just finished his ward stack, so we're going to see some wards coming out of the Radiant team to contest those. They find the Death Prophet.
Yeah, that's a good kill.
Easily. That is.
They definitely need those.
Medusa needs to get out of here. If they kill the Medusa as well, that's a great kill. No, Max is here with the Tusk to try to prevent this from happening.
They won't get the Medusa, but they're definitely forcing her away a bit. And,
yeah,
you know, like if you're playing a carry in this game and all of a sudden you see like 3 or 4 heroes closing in your location, they may not kill you, but it's still always a little bit frustrating because you just want to sit there and attack your creeps, you know? So it just buys some time, and that's already a big win. Chatterjee kind of in a bit of an awkward spot here. Gonna be stunned up. This is the strength of this lineup, you know?
He found the Shadow Fiend, he aggroed the boss and tried to run away, and then Tusk ice shards him and kept him in the boss pit and guaranteed the boss hit.
I love doing that, you know, getting the bosses into the mix here. Also putting down the ward exactly on the boss. This is a pretty common strategy. So the reason why people do this is if the ward is exactly on the boss, it's a little bit difficult to click on. And if you don't, you know, do it very precisely, you might just attack the boss instead, which might result in you dying. So you gotta be a bit careful of that.
Yep.
Alright, Max. Just gonna go ahead and snack up some of these creeps really quick. I mean, he's got his Tranquil Spark going on. Tranquils have also changed a little bit. So before, it took a long time to get a charge of the Tranquil Boots going, which in case you don't know how it works, if you have 100 charges of it, if you then attack a creep, the creep will instantly die, you get bonus gold. Oh, kind of a nice fight down here. Cyberpunk. Ooh, there he goes.
Sniper is the highest level in the game.
Well, he's been mostly
really expect
uninterrupted.
Death Prophet, the Axe, or the Shadow Fiend, but Sniper is the highest level. Not highest net worth, he's second on that, but...
Yeah, she's just been kind of chilling in the base. I mean, if you look at the Radiant, right, Medusa has been kind of being a bit more aggressive. Like, she's actually leaving the base, trying to farm outside a little bit, while Sniper is happy in the base.
Yeah. Medusa is also going to annihilate the entire base the second that she gets her boots. Which boots is she going? Yep, phase. That's pretty expected.
That's, of course, a pretty normal thing. But anyway, I was briefly explaining, like, the Tranquils. So, before, Tranquils, if you have 100 stacks on your Tranquil boots and you get stacks by moving around, then if you attack a creep, you get a bonus bounty. Before, you got a pretty big bounty, and it took a while to get the stacks built up. Now, the stacks build up much, much, much quicker, and you don't get as much of a bounty for killing a creep. That's really kind of like an important change, because it makes it so you can, like, snack up creeps left and right. And that's what you see the players doing here. That's why also a lot of players went for Boots of Speed and Windlace, just kind of to maximize the movement speed, so they can steal as many creeps from the enemies as possible. Because it's definitely a viable strategy to just kind of like run into the area where the enemy carry is farming, and like they're about to like last the creep, and you just kind of like snack it up. It can be a little bit brutal at times. Sniper now picking up the phase boots here.
Runes go even. Yeah, let's take a look at all the boots. I love that little shield button in the top right that shows everyone in its inventory. It's actually 2 arcane boots, which is unexpected. 4 or 5 arcane boots total in the entire game.
I like arcane boots. I know that Tranquils are really like the really popular thing right now, but I think like arcane boots just have this like certain... They have this sense of certainty to it, where you just don't even have to do anything. You can just focus on your play, and you get the money anyway. And of course, they also build into not Tranquils, Guardian Grease, which are really nice.
So good. You get a bunch of armor, you get a heal, you get a purge. It's such a phenomenal item. Also, I think worth mentioning is that what this says to me and the Dire team, the fact that they have almost all GPM boots and then just Supreme with the cleave. They're going to take bosses. They want to take bosses. They just want to start bossing.
Yes.
They want to stand still on those boss pits, get that guaranteed goal, and not have to worry about pacing back and forth. They just want to kill bosses.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Arcanes are so much better for boss killing. There's absolutely no doubt about that.
Death Prophet, by the way, picking up her Aghanim's a very popular item on this hero. She does great with it. She not only has...
Crypt Swarm is just going to start flash farming the entire map because of the axe now.
Yeah.
And especially when she gets the talent.
But she also has just really good talents, which helps a lot. You know, she wants Aghanims not just for the effect, but also for the talents. So,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's just a good item for the hero. They're gonna try and go for the Shadow Fiend, trap him, so that's really good, but they're kind of dying.
They just can't. He doesn't even have lifesteal yet. They just didn't have the damage, and he did have the damage.
Yeah, that's the brutal part at this stage. You know, like, yeah, you're doing a great job in terms of, you know, actually, like, finding people and being aggressive, but then you get killed.
Supreme's going to get these Ancients now. It looks like he's pretty much going to get all of them, which is really rough for them. You can see they have a ward in the pit.
Yeah, Sniper. It's just scary now. You know, level 14 already. He's got himself MKB, Daedalus, Desolator. Just going pure damage. But right now, if you deal enough damage, you don't need to worry about anything else. Ooh, the big finger. Getting 2 of them. Pocket money on the retreat. Gonna be caught out by the Wraith Fire Blast. Medusa. Gonna be going down as well. Oh, nice. Fine.
What's interesting also is that up until this fight started, Radiant was pretty dominantly in the lead kills-wise. It was like 12-5 or something like that a second ago.
Well, they were winning in terms of kills, but it's just really the net worth that like speaks a different story, and it's really the story you need to listen to, right? They are quite a bit behind, quite a bit, like almost 12,000, something like that.
Yeah, yeah, they've fallen behind a lot. It was closer early on, but it's really getting difficult. Ever since the boots came online, it's been not nearly as easy.
Yeah, and the experience as well. If we just look at the hero levels, you know, you can see the Sniper mostly level 17. Now, something to note about Sniper. Sniper doesn't actually get like crazy talents, so it's not super important that he's a high level, but it's still kind of just indicative of the overall like level of farm, and that's scary in of itself. So we got 2 big duels going on. Pretty fair looking duels, honestly. I feel like either team would be able to take either one of them. Death Prophet gonna be not in the best spot, and down she goes. Ekla with those big swings, with that big Daedalus, just kind of critting through her like it's nothing. Medusa gonna be next in line. Solar Crest helps out, and that's gonna be a 1 duel for the Dire for sure. The question is just how many more kills can Axe get. Well, it seems that's gonna be the end of it. In the meantime, Supreme and Sniper clean out the other duel, and now we've got an even score.
For Shadow Fiend, the Shadow Fiend's actually pretty poor. I think just because he's been deferring so much of the farm to the Sniper, but it's just kind of surprising. You expect a Shadow Fiend to be well 6-slotted by 10 minutes.
Yeah, he also went for
he only got 2 items.
Mana Boots, right? So
yeah,
Mana Boots kind of slow down your farm if you are farming a lot of creeps.
Yeah, if you're farming as aggressively as a Shadow Fiend does, definitely does. I'm surprised he upgraded the boots. I probably would have just kept Arcane Spark.
That's something you can do, but I feel like he's really just trying to be more of a team player here, right? Ekla saying, you know what?
Yeah, he's got Sniper, you know? Yeah.
Sniper got it. Let me just kind of help out the Sniper. Kind of be a little bit of bait even, you know, like Shadow Fiend is...
I've also noticed that he pretty much only farms on the Radiant side. So he's farm denial, not farming.
Yeah. Going for
he's taking in that role.
Early BKB as well, you know, just defensive items immediately, Shadow Blade, BKB. Again, I really feel like the Shadow Fiend is just taking a little bit of a backseat here, kind of going more into the position of a like role of a number 2, or maybe like even like a second number 3. Just really giving Supreme all of the time in the world, all of the resources he needs. I think that makes a lot of sense. I really just like, if you look at the Dire, I feel like they have all the tools to protect the Sniper, and they have all of the tools to enable the Sniper. Radiant, I don't know how they can really catch him, and even if they catch him, what do they do?
This Sniper way up in the top right corner just in case they get jumped.
It's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah. They have a game plan. It's very obvious. They're not trying to hide it at all. They believe that they will win using it.
So something that's also a little bit new to the game. If you look at the score limit is currently 60, as you can see in the little window up in the top. This is something that we have recently added. And the way this works is that as you go through the game, the score limit will kind of dynamically adjust. If you kill a boss of a new tier, that means you get 10 extra points into the score limit. There's also like a little element in the base that you can use to expand the score limit. But it does effectively just mean that it is now possible to end the games really, really quickly if you want to play super aggressively. Score limit of 60 is not that crazy far away if the Dire side were now to just say, alright, I guess we're going to go ahead and just grind them out. But it seems they're going to focus down some bosses instead.
It's such a low score game, 27-27 at 12 minutes in.
Yeah.
Especially because of how dominating all the fights have been going lately for Way to Death. I guess they just want to clean up the last of the tier 1 bosses, then fight more, or maybe just go for old school strat and just boss smother, get all of the bosses and ignore the enemy team. That used to more or less be the meta.
Medusa working towards a level 25, so that's of course a big one. I'm a bit worried about her, because she, I don't know if she'll be able to deal enough damage, frankly. She doesn't really have, she doesn't have a Daedalus in her inventory. And she does
have an inventory slot though, because the Wraithman's going to go away.
She needs a BKB though, that's what I was saying. You can't play this game without a BKB. You're playing against Lion, Wraith King, and a Vengeful. It's a million stuns. It's just not gonna
Drums. Work. Going Lucians, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
It does give a ton of stats. There's a lot of all stats on the Lucian's item, and then it's also some pure heals, a little bit of movement speed if you need it. I really don't mind that at all, actually.
No, I think it's perfectly reasonable, honestly. Gonna go ahead and work on the swiper. No swiping. Get him.
Yeah. Love a good post-mortem swipe.
Oh, gotta be careful, man. You gotta know that can happen. So now that the swiper was killed, which was a tier 2 boss, the score limit has been extended. And to me, this really seems like the Dire side is just saying, you know what? We're so far ahead. Let's just get all of the bosses. You know?
Yeah.
If this takes a little while longer to finish, we're okay with that. We really just want to win.
Yeah, it's very safe. This is definitely the safest way that they could be playing it. Sniper can just solo tier 1, which is great. He has no defensive items at all, but it doesn't matter. Ooh, he went Devastator. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've seen that item a lot, and it's pretty powerful.
Yeah, it's sort of finally gotten into the meta.
I don't think it was changed though, it's just people are starting to kind of realize it's actually a pretty strong effect.
Yeah, people are just figuring out that there's situations where Devastator is better. It gives you a little bit of burst, which is cool. For people who don't know what Devastator does, it essentially lets you cast one wave of the Pangolier Q. It shoots out a little wave in front of you, and everyone that it hits, you put out one auto attack against. And it also applies the minus armor effect on a slightly weaker version of it.
Yeah, it's got, in terms of raw stats on it, it's a little worse than a Desolator, but it's got the active to kind of like help make up for it. So it really depends on what you're looking for. Like personally, I would say on a sniper most of the time, I would rather go just for the Desolator. But it does definitely have its benefits, and in the right game, it can be very powerful. One of the big things about it is that you can apply the minus armor really easily to multiple targets now, right? Because you hit multiple heroes with it, and then you get the Desolator effect on all of them, which is really strong. And actually, fun fact about Desolator, that thing's debuff lasts forever. Oh, actually, I guess this one doesn't. This one is only 5 seconds.
Although the active effect actually is stronger than the passive. I had it backwards. So if you hit people with the wave, it's stronger than the active, than the like passive from just right-clicking them. Also, the bonus damage is not insubstantial. At the current level that it's at, it's doing 300 bonus damage on each target. So that's a lot of extra damage, really.
It's a pretty strong
300
item.
plus a real auto attack.
Ekla also, by the way, doesn't need boots.
No boots. Nah, I don't need them.
Nah, boots is not something that are required around here. They find themselves a Wanderer. So this is another new element. This is a boss that spawns around the map. Kind of like wanders around the place. And if you kill him, you get a bunch of cores for it. Now, these cores are not the highest level cores. They're a bunch of the tier 2 cores. Although this was a very early kill, so it's still quite valuable for the dire side. Also very important about it, if you kill the Wanderer, you get a buff, which is bonus, is it cooldown reduction, attack damage,
I don't know why I
and
can't do
movement
this
speed.
tooltip as a spectator. It works when you're in-game.
Yeah, in-game you can see the tooltip. I don't know why you can't in here. Oh, that's such a big steal.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
There we go. You can see it if you put the mouse at the very edge of the green circle. It's pretty weird, but it's 20% cooldown reduction, or 20% bonus movement speed, and 20% attack damage.
Yeah. So it's just a really like great buff for killing bosses. That's really what it's mostly about. And well, that's exactly what the dire side is doing with it. I mean, they're just kind of drowning out the Radiant. This is this is very slow and careful. This is them just saying, we're gonna win, and if it takes a bit, that's okay with us. We're not really in a hurry. It's not that late yet. We have some time. You get the Medusa. I am quite worried for the Radiant. I mean, if you really just look at the net worth.
Looks like they're about to rush in this boss pick, and they get in there and actually... Ooh, they got in there before finish capping. If they take this, it would be a big deal. That's
Pocket Money taking that fight, but Cyberpunk is not dying. And what a steal. Oh, that is actually just devastating.
Rough.
Talking about the Devastator.
Venge just stays up there, even though Wraith Form does not capture points anymore. So worth mentioning, because we were just talking about the buff from the Wanderer, it does not apply during duels.
Yes, it does not apply during duels. So you can't just get that before final duel and win the game with it. Duels are very, very simple, just straight up hero versus hero, player versus player. No outside buffs, no other benefits. Death Prophet coming in. Let's see if she can get the Wraith King here.
Oh yeah. Can she get him the second time? Sniper's right at the edge of the duel just in case Death Prophet gets within attack range. You see that?
Yeah, and look at where he's going.
Oh, his attack range is so close too.
Assassinate.
Assassinate.
If he activates that game, he can definitely fire a shot. Yeah, there we go. Resurrection ready? No, not quite. But it's gonna be ready now. Heartbreaker will definitely.
It'll be ready
survive
before
this.
Wraith.
Yeah.
So he's already good.
That was close.
Yeah.
Like, the Death Prophet actually almost had him there. There's another assassinate. Okay. I mean, Wraith King is not really giving up on this. It seems it's just going to be a draw.
Wraith King actually does a fair bit of damage. Like, he's not going to kill the Death Prophet there, but...
He would do a lot more if he had
impressive.
some items. Yeah, that's his biggest problem, yeah. It's just... Oh my god, Max!
Oh, it
Never
didn't matter
mind.
though.
That looked heroic for a second, and then he melted.
And then he got 2-shot.
Supreme just stealing all of the easier creeps for no good reason. Oh, he's
Yep.
coming in. Oh, he's gonna kill Max again. Alright, pushes himself away.
Ooh, gets out of the range of the snowball before it actually hits. That's cool.
11 Finger of Death stacks. So Lion starting to slowly build up some damage here.
Nice. 40 whole extra damage on an ability that max out at 2700. That'll make a really big difference.
Hey, 440 damage right now is like another third, like 30% bonus. That's not that bad. But to be honest, I mean, the Finger of Death is not really Lion's most valuable ability anyway.
Yeah.
It might be Lion's worst ability. Right?
There are phases of the game. No, Mana Drain's always his worst ability.
I feel like sometimes Mana Drain is more useful because it like slows and, you know, certain heroes...
It doesn't need to do anything but Mana Drain's BM and it's funny. I think that's what you mean.
You're not a believer in the Mana Drain, I can tell.
I'm really not, no. I like this. The Wraith King keeps grabbing onto fresh new Alpha Wolves with big HP pools. It's got 1200, so that way he can just right-click it onto the Sniper and give him the aura.
Yeah. Oh man, this
Yep.
this Wraith King is playing an aura tank. That's what he's doing, and he's doing it great. I mean, the Radiance is kind of like a cheeky addition to it. Like, that's just kind of because,
I don't think
you know,
he needs the Radiance at all, yeah.
he wants to deal a little bit of damage as well. It's actually like I feel like that's a trap that people fall into pretty often. Where they think, okay, auras, what do we get? Radiance, right? That's an aura. Well, actually, yeah, I guess, but it's not really like the kind of aura you're going for, right? So, yeah, well, it's not the worst thing in the world. I mean, helps a little bit of
They
damage.
secure the second Wanderer, so they're going to get double tier 3 core and have the buff reapplied. There they go.
That's brutal. And,
Ooh, pocket? Nope.
I mean, he does a lot of damage with the Blade Mail, but it's just really not enough, and then he gets disabled.
Yeah, I think without a swap, it's possible he could have killed Shadow Fiend before the call taunt ended, but Shadow Fiend just gets swapped out. That's it.
The 4 disables, right? Like, Magic Missile is just such a good ability. It's just stun a guy. Beautiful. Gets so much work done. Quick Finger. There we go. Best ability. 16 stacks.
Stack them up.
Hey, I mean, like, this is starting to be some damage, alright?
Ooh, I love it. Backpacked TP boots on the Sniper, so that way he can jump in on the team easier after deaths.
Oh, that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I love it. Ooh, Sniper almost kills himself. I think 3 attacks and he got himself down to 1/4 HP.
Also, no lifesteal. It doesn't bother with that. Just kind of entirely relying on the Wraith King for the aura.
Yeah, he's got double lifesteal aura between Wraith King's inbuilt lifesteal and also the Vlad's.
Oh, the Medusa caught out. Goes down.
17 stacks?
17 stacks.
Yes. Let's go.
Lion
Oh,
is
upgraded Blink
getting-
Dagger. I didn't even notice that before. That's so sick. Look at the range on that thing. He can blink a whole screen away.
Yeah. And then Hex is an AoE.
Yep. Love
Just
it.
mini
Love it.
ravaged them really quick. 4 more kills. And then the dire side will be able to go into that final duel. Hopefully win it. Well, I mean, hopefully for them.
Yeah. I think if they wanted to just trigger a final duel, one of them could TP back and feed the Serpent some cores and just quickly pump out those last 3 points from it. But I think they're going to fight it out instead. If they realize this boss up top is happening, then this is going to trigger final duel. Yeah.
They're just bullying them, right? Like that's all that's happening, yo.
Oh, Private's trying so hard to stay alive.
Kicks the sniper away into the base, in an attempt to make the base protection aura kill him, but it's just not quite enough. If he had just had like a mildly different direction, it would have worked. Either way, it doesn't really matter, because the final duel has been triggered. And with that, we have a lot of text on the screen.
Goes. Yeah, I gotta figure out why that message double appears only sometimes.
Oh my god, that's brutal. Oh, they get the sniper! Pocket money with the big blink! That's actually a really big deal.
That's a huge
deal.
Medusa
gonna take down Wraith King?
Shadow Fiend decently well.
Shadow
swap
Fiend?
out.
Yeah, Shadow Fiend is still around though, but he got taunted. He had to spend a whole bunch of time just walking towards the Medusa goes down. It's gonna be kicked out. Kind of unfortunate, honestly. The Hex, oh, that's it.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, that's... damn, that was really close.
That was so cool. They actually could have won that duel.
Yeah, a little bit of bad coordination here, like the Tusk actually kicking the Shadow Fiend away. Maybe not... Actually, no, he didn't kick the Shadow Fiend away. He like kicked something away that was
he did kick the Shadow Fiend away at the end of that fight.
Oh, was that the Shadow Fiend? Yeah, either way.
So I think he was trying to prevent the Shadow Fiend from killing the Dusa, but instead, basically, right after the last auto attack that killed the Dusa came out, he then kicked the low HP Shadow Fiend away and kind of saved him.
Yeah, that's quite.
If the kick had come out a moment earlier or not at all, I think it would have been better. But it happens. So I have an interesting question. Do you think if this game went to infinite late game and everyone was maxed out, which lineup do you think wins?
I think the Dire still wins. Like, just honestly, I don't even think it's close. I really, really like to me, okay, so like I feel like what's a pretty common misconception is that what's the best thing to have late game is to just have, late game power, like a sniper and a Medusa and all of that. But I always think the best thing to have late game is as many hexes and stuns as you can possibly have, right? And the Dire, they just have the double magic missile with the Lion. There's just so much disabled there. Lion does infinite damage, gonna one-shot the Radiant anyway. And
infinite scaling, baby.
Yeah, that's how it goes. No,
and the Wraith King also guarantees that they always get all that disable out.
Yeah. So it was a good effort from the Radiant, and you know what? Like in the early game, they definitely really put up a fight, but I honestly just think they got outdrafted there. And with such a simple lineup, it's just these heroes, they look so standard, they're so basic, but they just work. And that's just it. Anyway, Teemo's already excited to beat Laranol again. Let's see if they can pull that off. And we're going to be going into the next match as soon as possible.